Okay.
Or you can say it, Mark.
Okay. All right. So we'll call the meeting to order. This is the NCAC Executive Committee. It's July 24th at 7:08 p.m. So we welcome everybody this evening. I don't know, Jeff, should we entertain the amendment now?
Yeah, I think that's the right. We can ask the parliamentarian, but I believe if you want to amend the agenda, that's the very, very first thing you do.
Yeah.
So I move that we add an agenda item to approve Mr. Derek Dolehite here as the first member of the Communications Task Force.
Yay!
And I assume Nancy would be clapping if she had both arms.
I
Derek.
don't know you, Derek, but I'm thrilled you're
I
stepping
did.
up. But could you talk a little bit about
Derek
Well, let's wait till we get to that agenda item. But
Derek is perfect.
Oh, you're just moving the.
We're
I
just
thought you were actually
moving to
moving
add it to the
approve
agenda.
him. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I
Yes,
suppose that we
definitely.
put it first so that Derek can leave if he wants to.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
So
thrilling.
or we can put it after the conflict of interest question, I guess.
So I'll second that.
There's
Oh,
no
sure.
No second? Okay.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good, Michael. We have
Yes,
amended the agenda.
absolutely. And
Okay.
and I'm thrilled. That's really
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. So nice to meet those I haven't met. I think I know a handful of you guys. But yeah, my wife and I moved to Nesquin 4 years ago now. We're up in Hawk Creek Hills, so just across the highway, and have been remodeling, building. My wife's an artist, building a studio for the last couple of years. I am kind of professionally in advertising, freelance as a creative director and kind of digital designer. So have been kind of working with Jeff and talking to Jeff kind of about the Nesquin site. And I just helped out on the Nesquin Farmers Market website. So yeah, happy to help with the website and any kind of technical digital needs that you guys may have. So happy to do that.
Yeah, and I was talking
Fabulous.
earlier today, and he was saying that like things like updating the events, updating the meeting minutes page, things like that, where like it's not time sensitive. That's stuff you can easily do. So
yes,
great.
Definitely. Yeah. So let me know as Jeff kind of transitions out. Let me know. I'm sure I'll have more conversations with you, Jeff, about.
I'll make all that work. And my guess is I will be an unofficial member of the task force myself for some time to come.
Good.
So I guess we need to just do a vote, or can we just say if no one opposes or something like that?
What do you think, Michael?
Michael, you're muted.
You're
muted,
that's
Michael.
fine. That's fine. This is your meeting. You go ahead.
Okay, we'll just take a vote at this point. And I think we'll just do a thumbs up or just a hands up. And for the question is having Derek Dolehite join the Communications Task Force. So we'll just do a hands vote. I'm a yes. If you're a yes,
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And okay, and Chris is
Welcome. This is great.
Okay.
Welcome, Chris, or Derek. I'm sorry. Welcome, Derek.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Derek. You're welcome to hang out.
Yeah.
But if it's boring, you're welcome to leave.
Yeah.
I'll hang out for a little bit, but thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks
you
very much.
Definitely thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Good start.
And that was 4 out of 4 of the members of the executive board for my purposes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Item 2, conflict of interest question of the officers and committee chairs. I have no conflict of interest this evening.
This is Chris. I have none either.
Okay,
I have none. This is
Michael, I
Jeff.
have none.
I have none.
yeah, okay. Thank you. Meeting minutes from the June 18th, 2024 meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Or additions or changes?
It looked great.
Okay,
None for me.
okay. Hearing none, we'll approve the minutes from the June 18th, 2024 meeting then. Item 4, discuss ongoing utility of meeting minutes. So Jeff, I think you've got the lead on this one.
Yeah. So
Okay.
real simply, like I learned from Sarah at one of the recent meetings she's been hosting, that if you post videos of meetings, the Oregon Public Meeting Law, like that is sufficient to meet the requirement for Oregon Public Meeting Law. You don't have to publish minutes. And especially since I am going to be no longer secretary sometime in the next month or two, I think we should make the job as easy as possible for my successor and maybe not require minutes going forward, which I think would require a bylaws update, but I'm not sure. But we have Nancy here.
It
So.
would.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah, and I'm going to push back a little. I've also read that in Oregon Public Meeting Law that you don't have to, but to make someone go through a whole video of a meeting versus having a quick read, I think is, I'd like to see, they can be simple. They don't have to have a lot of discussion, but how much time do you think you spend, Jeff, on writing minutes for these meetings?
I mean, it depends on the meeting, but I would say it's for a general meeting with a lot of stuff going on, like it can be over an hour.
Oh, real? Okay.
Well, because
you're
like you have to
proposing for-
watch the whole thing and what was said, like is there like what are the minority, like were there minority viewpoints that they want to record, all that stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I will make, because like I don't know if anyone has ever read the minutes other than when I request the officers to check them. My guess is that no one almost ever does.
mhm.
That like we're doing this because we have to, but we should. I would advocate, and I've talked to like other former officers who also have this opinion, that we should be doing the bare minimum, but like we should conform to Oregon Public Meeting Law, but like we should not be making our jobs harder.
So
Yeah. Have you looked to see how many people, or can you even tell how many people go in and look at the minutes out of curiosity?
Let's see, the minutes, like no, because that like yeah, we don't have that in a place where it would be instrumented. And I don't even know how good the analytics are in the basic package for Squarespace we have. Do you know anything about like whether if we put the minutes as in this little Squarespace CDA, or if it would CDN, sorry.
I understand what Sarah says, and I appreciate that, but for future reference, it really doesn't help for somebody to have to go back and review a film, a video. And the minutes don't have to be detailed. Now, some of our discussions in the bylaws subcommittee really do need to be detailed, because those are there's a lot of discussions there, and there's a lot of interpretations and so on and so forth. They really need to be part of that. But I think it really does help to have minutes published.
So I would agree with that if we believed that people were actually using them, which
but we don't know in the future at some point when somebody wants to go back a year or 6 months or whatever and take a look at something. That's the only thing.
Have you looked at any kind of just video to text transcription AI models?
The Google Gemini AI will do a great job.
Yeah.
Of writing minutes.
And I just learned sorry.
And I think
I just learned
now doing the transcription automatically, like it just which is why Gemini can just read the minute because it doesn't watch the video, it just reads the transcription.
I just learned that Zoom also has a transcription option that's good. I haven't seen it myself, but I guess that's new. You have to turn it on in advance, but
And,
yeah, I would think that there's an easy way to, so it's not, you know, kind of manual labor to transcribe from the video into a kind of textual document that would suffice.
yeah,
But I
and
can check.
I'm sure there is. I just like I worry about anything where like if Derek then moved away, if or just ran out of time like Biff did, that like having something where like the person who took over would have no idea how to use it. So
Can anyone talk, or is this at the end?
Yeah,
I think we're being kind of informal.
yeah, we're being pretty informal.
Yeah, I've looked at the minutes a few times. I don't find them particularly enlightening, because anyone who's doing them, to be careful, is saying so-and-so talked in favor of such and such, and someone else then talked. The more detailed they are, the more you're opening yourself up to criticism because of mistake, which would, what, you know, if you could get an AI thing, that would be great. But another way to do it would be to do very, very Spartan written minutes and direct people to, you know, there was a discussion about these people talked, to the extent that so-and-so favored this, so-and-so favored that. This is the vote. If you want to know more, look at the video at very, you know, from this time period to this time period.
That only saves a little bit of time because someone still has to watch the whole meeting. And
yeah, but not really. I mean, you can, having done this before, you can speed through it and see where, I mean,
that is what I do.
Well, but you could, all you're doing then is going to have, being Jeff, of course, or anybody like Jeff, and having paid attention, you know who began the discussion, and you look for that, and you know who ended the discussion, and you look for that, and that takes a minute, and then you go to the next thing. I mean, that sort of is a compromise between the two positions that I'm hearing.
I mean, I'm just advocating for the person who has to do this after me, and especially so that someone may be more likely to volunteer to do it. But it's like going through the video and even recording what Tom just described, it takes some time.
Yeah.
And because like we have it used to be one meeting every 2 months, and now for the secretary, it's 3 meetings every 2 months. Like it's an executive meeting every month, and then the meeting at the general meeting. So
Yeah.
do you think it'll help, Jeff, that you're now getting some people for the communications task force? At least Derek is stepping up, and hopefully some others, that you won't have so much to do on that side of it, or your successor wouldn't have as much to do on that side of it. And
I mean, if the secretary, all they're really doing is recording the minutes, and then other people are handling, like, say the emails and updating the website and things, that probably will help some. But it does mean that like we have to get more people on the communications task force. So.
Right.
So Jeff, do you think when you do the minutes, when you're trying to be brief in the minutes currently?
I'm generally trying to record as the minimum possible to and I just sort of invented like I didn't go research on the web what's the right way to do minutes. I just was like, what's the important stuff to record, and it's like results of votes and things like that. And if there's a discussion with minority viewpoints, because we're not doing minority reports any other way, which I just sort of did intuitively. I didn't know, I hadn't even read the part of the bylaws that say we have to prepare minority reports. I just try and make sure to record like all the viewpoints being expressed. So
and you've captured it. I mean, the Robert's Rules is really clear, and we'll put that in the policies and procedures on what goes into minutes. And you've done what's required by taking the simplified approach and getting the meeting date, time, and place, and who's present, who's not present, and key points of discussion, particularly votes, motions, that kind of thing. But I like what Tom and Michael said, that, you know, if you point to something that someone can quickly look through the minutes and see if there's something that they want to see more detail on, they can go to the video, and that way they don't have to listen to the video to see if there's anything they're going to be interested in. And particularly if they're going back into previous meetings, they can look at the minutes and see if this is a meeting they want to go look up the video. I'm a secretary for another group, and so I know it's not fun, and you have to go through the video and all that. But I think it can be important.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've said my bit that we aren't required to. It's a fair amount of work, and I think that our group does not particularly care about going back in history and seeing what happened in meetings, but that's my 2 cents.
I think I sense that you're going to keep going.
Your spidey sense is failing you.
Oh, I tried.
Well, I understand what you're saying, Jeff, and I do think that the fallback position for anybody who wants to get really clear on an issue is to look at the video. I mean, that's just what they can do.
Mhm.
And whether it's we've got the community plan coming forward, and the bylaws is doing work, and we'll have conversations about these kinds of things at some of the general meetings, and the video is what people, if they really want to delve into it, that's where they look.
Yeah.
And given that, I would, and I guess I don't want to put more work on you or the secretary that comes after you. You're really good at it, Jeff, and if you say it takes you an hour, it might take somebody else longer than that. And you're good at it, and you're quick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little worried about that. And so I don't know. I don't know if we need to actually make a decision about this tonight. Maybe
No, we don't.
We don't. So it's just a good conversation. And
yeah, I started the conversation.
Yep.
It can continue. So
I might suggest that this is worthy of a few minutes discussion in the policies and procedures group.
Okay.
And I'm sure that there is a short list of things that minutes should have. I do the minutes for the bylaw subcommittee, and Nancy is always gracious enough to say very nice job and all of that. I appreciate that. But there are certain things that ought to go in the minutes. Times, people, actions, votes. Those basic material. The content of the arguments, not necessary. It's not necessary,
Yeah.
but the motions and the votes and those primary issues should be annotated so that whoever is interested in the issues can then say, "Oh, that's an I want to see that discussion." Then they can go back to the video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and certainly, if we just said only anything that gets like parliamentary procedure items,
sure, yeah,
get recorded,
right? Any votes,
because
votes,
you can record that in real time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
things like that.
You wouldn't even have to watch the video, really,
Right.
for that.
So certainly, if we just make the rule, you're just going to write down these very specific things, and you're going to and make it very specific so that you can do it in real time. The secretary can do it in real time. That also would be a viable solution.
Okay. Good comments.
So I think it's been a good discussion. I think we come back to this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
And I can, or Michael, one of us can send you a quick list from Robert's rules that go through what goes in minutes, and it really is quite simple.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Okay.
as Michael said, like this is really for the policies and procedures discussion. But I wanted to have the executive committee talk about it. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Item 5, the August special election. So, no, we've got, so I'm looking down the agenda. There's the time and the date for it as well, I guess, or let's see, time and agenda. Okay. So, the August special election is scheduled for, I don't know, I'll talk about, the election is scheduled to be for a new secretary and a new chair. Jeff is moving away, and hopefully I heard maybe in the next month or two. Maybe you can extend that. I don't know. But
well, I don't want to extend that, but
yeah.
if it's against me, I could extend that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And to date, we haven't had any, Jeff, have we? Not that I've been aware of anybody that's thrown their hat in the ring or.
So no one has thrown their hat in the ring. I have heard, I have discussions today about a possible person who might be willing to do secretary, but I'm not going to say more
Okay. Yeah.
right now because I haven't spoken to this person. I've just heard their name. And or someone else spoke to them and said, hey, maybe like they might talk to it. And I think we're gonna talk to them tomorrow together. At least that was what was discussed.
Okay.
But no one is no one has written and volunteered for chair, and no one has written and volunteered for secretary. Nancy, I know you've talked to a couple people. Do you have any anything you want to say? Like
I don't know that I have anything
like
I
I
want
was
to
just
say. I think there's something I would like to hear.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So in regards to the chair position, I have had a conversation very recently with some members in the community, and I had hoped somebody would throw their hat in the ring for the chair position, and I am contemplating continuing as the chair. I have not, the conversations were very recent. I haven't really had a chance to speak with my wife about this. So, and I know, Jeff, that the agenda has to come out, I think on Saturday, maybe Friday.
Like,
For
so
the
we
agenda.
should send out the agenda on Saturday, but we do
Okay.
not have to announce
Okay.
candidates. We just have to have on the agenda that there will be an election.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So let me just ask this question. If I choose to continue in the chair role and I make that decision by Saturday, that would change the agenda then, Jeff, for.
Yeah,
it would
so
be
we
just one.
definitely like agree as the
Yeah.
I guess there's a way to do it, right?
Yeah, okay.
Michael and Nancy to say like this is the agenda we agree on with the stipulation that we can change it without having another vote if
Yeah.
and also you could decide that like you're going to wait until the 10th, and if
Yeah.
someone else volunteers you will not continue.
Yeah.
And
I have a suggestion. If
Okay.
Mark, that you decide to continue, which I know a number of us would just so appreciate, and including Tom, we would really love to see that. You're doing such a fabulous job. I'm wondering, Jeff, if we could consider moving a special election to the October meeting, and you would hopefully between now and then there'd be a secretary type of role if you'd be willing to stay in for another couple of months.
well, when I move, I have to resign, and I would be really, really unhappy if I haven't moved by October.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm just trying.
I'm working really hard to move before October.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if no, like I guess, yeah, like if no one puts themselves forward, we can ask for nominations from the floor. If no one says that, then I say like, okay, when I move, like you're going to be without a secretary, and
Yeah, right, right.
and then oh well, and I suppose if someone then goes, oh crap, or I move, and someone then volunteers, you could hold a special meeting
Election.
election to elect whoever volunteers. But
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
okay.
And Mark, I don't know who these people are. Actually, I do. But I agree with as you know, with Nancy. I mean, please do it. I'll call your wife.
I have to tell you that I am leaning towards it. I just haven't, I had a conversation yesterday and I went swimming and I did a bunch of other things yesterday and and now my wife's back from the beach actually and we haven't had, she just got back just
Yeah.
recently and
Well,
so we
good.
haven't had time to talk about it, but I know that the time is short and it was a good conversation that I had yesterday and there were some things that I've thought about that were a part of that conversation that have really caused me to reconsider this. So I will make a decision. Today's Wednesday. I'll make a decision in a couple of days.
Okay, that's great. And I'll just put forward the thought that I think we have learned that like what we have been doing for the past year, like the way is like we need to make adjustments no
Right.
matter what. Like, I mean, unless like I think we know that no workaholics are going to step forward and work even harder than we have been. So adjustments need to be made to the workload for the officers, no matter who is in the position. So I maybe that affects your thinking, Mark.
That was a part of the conversation yesterday, and I agree with that, Jeff. And so yeah, I don't know how that plays out, you know, on a broader scale, if adjustments are made and how that's communicated or whatever, but I agree with what you're saying. Yes.
Okay. So the most important nuts and bolts that we have to talk about in this agenda item, because definitely we need to hold an election for a secretary. So we have to have that on the agenda. And if no one has put themselves forward, like, so if someone puts themselves forward, I will immediately send out an email update and say, like we now have a nominee for secretary. And I have to like kind of make sure I don't use up all the emails we have. So I will caveat that I may have to be strategic, but definitely if someone puts themselves forward, there will be an email that goes out before the election that says, here's the candidate for or here is the candidate or candidates for secretary. And then we will hold an election exactly like we held it in, like we just did this. I think we will do exactly the same thing, including all the bits about take nominations from the floor and whatnot. If we have no candidates, same thing, except that it's just that we'll take nominations from the floor. If there's no one running, and we're going to be like, hey guys, like someone's got to step up, or in a few weeks, like hopefully by then I will have more information about my timeline.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be able to give a deadline. Like at this point, you're out of secretary. So someone should like, if you're waiting for someone else to step up so you don't have to, that time is over. Like you should just step up now. And
well, and Jeff, I mean, you're going to leave and they need to pick your brain about stuff before you leave.
Right.
So.
Well, and I fully expect and intend that like I'm just going to kind of be around, be in support for everyone following me. We have Zoom. I'm not going to be and I'm not going to just abandon everyone.
Okay.
And I may very well continue to do either officially, because the communications task force, it does not say you have to be an NCAC member to be a member of the task force. I don't think. Does it, Nancy? Do you remember?
I think it does, but let me,
Okay,
I
well,
think
if
with,
it
but
does, I
I'll
may just
check. I've
have
got
to.
them up right now.
Okay.
I don't think it does. Jeff, did you get my email?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you're the outgoing.
Well, it's just a question of whether it's official or unofficial.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Jeff, you got my email, didn't you, about?
I did. I'm sorry I haven't replied to that yet.
No, that's okay. I assume, you know, we're gonna talk about all of that.
Right.
And try to capture as much as we can. And
Yeah,
I think that'll be an opportunity for you to offload, if you will.
Right. And I'm hoping that I will know who, because like now I know that like, it looks like Derek is gone. Now I know that we have Derek, and that like, so I'm gonna have like in my mind, like I have to like give Derek the lowdown. And hopefully it will have more people, because it's easier. Like if someone I have never met is going, where I don't know who it is going to take over, and I have to write everything down for them, that's really hard. Where it's much easier to kind of go, what do these people specifically need to know, so that they know how to get the job done if I'm on vacation or something. So,
Yeah.
and I don't want them to need to phone me for everything. So.
Okay, that sounds.
Still scanning intently. Like I would have thought it would.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking to see if there's something about member. I mean, we could call a special meeting with 14 days notice, and we can call an emergency meeting with 7 days notice if we wanted to do a special meeting for secretary. But
there's nothing in there, Nancy, that says it has to.
yeah, I think you're right, Michael. How did we miss that? I mean, well, you should have to be a member to be an officer, don't you think?
Well, no, I think that's implicit, that you have to be a member to be an officer. I think it says you have to be a member to run. If you didn't put that in there, you screwed up.
Well, no kidding.
But I don't know if it says you have to be a member to be a member of the communication task force.
Yeah.
So I can either officially or unofficially.
It does say you have to be a member to be nominated for office. Yeah.
Okay. I can either officially or unofficially, depending on the bylaws, participate in the communications task force for. I'm not going to promise to do it like indefinitely, but I certainly can do it for like 6 months or something.
Maybe
Sure.
we could.
I don't think anyone's going to evict you.
How about an honorary member? Huh?
Sure.
An advisor.
Well,
Yeah.
Advisor.
One way or another, I will be around to help out, because
we'll find a way.
I'm leaving you all in the lurch, and I want to like do that, like not leave you all in the lurch. But
transition.
someone else is going to do those dang minutes.
Yeah.
And someone else is going to write the emails, because that, yeah, like
you do a beautiful job with the emails.
But it's one of those things where like I can't not do a good job. Like I cannot have ass writing. That's my nature. So I have to have someone else do that. So
yeah,
there's got to be a computer nerd somewhere in Nescoin.
That's Derek. Derek is the computer nerd in Nesquin.
Okay.
There are others, but Derek's eminently qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So Derek can be the guy, like,
Okay.
but someone who writes nice emails that like are clear and keeps track of everything that everyone needs to know. I gotta let someone else do that.
Yeah. You do.
So let's see. All right. But I think we're done. August special election.
Okay.
We're if no one steps up, we will have like ask for nominations from the floor. If no one says anything, then we're going to be like, guys, like hopefully I will know by then a bit more about timing. So,
and I think from a technical standpoint, if it's even questioned, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, Mark, you can just rescind your resignation. It's not like we've accepted it or done anything formal with that. So
right.
I think that would just settle the matter.
Yeah.
And we hope you will.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that. Absolutely. And Mark, you know, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. If there's anything you need to offload, don't hesitate to say what it is, and we'll try to cover that. That's because we need to continue. We need to deal with it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Okay, let's move on. Let's see, we've got community plans. Okay, Rand's not here.
Rand's not here.
Okay.
They just held a couple meetings, which I just attended
Okay,
via Zoom, which so did I think half the people here. And like it was all just information from Sarah. So it wasn't gathering input. It was just Sarah sharing a lot of info. The videos are all up online.
okay,
And they had to cancel their last meeting because it was during the cell outage, and apparently enough people couldn't get online that they didn't have a quorum. So
yeah, okay. All right, thanks, Jeff. Let's see, bylaws committee check-in, Nancy?
Okay, I'll keep it short. We have agreed on chair, scribe, and editor are the same as last year. Our meetings are changed from 9:30 to 9, from 9 to 11 instead of 9:30 to 11 going forward, and the same Friday morning, first and third Friday mornings of the month, except for August. We're taking a break for, we're not doing the August 2nd meeting. We are starting interviews with people for the policies and procedures. And so we had our first interview, as all of you knew, I think, on the last meeting last Friday that I think was really great, that Sarah Absher, we had, we're able to ask a lot of questions about how the NCAC works with the county, those relationships, and I learned a lot from it. And then also some of the duties of the chair and a little bit some of the treasurers. So I think that was a nice interaction of information gathering, and Michael has a big job to do on minutes there, unless you want to refer people to the video, Michael, which would be completely fine. Anyway, it was worth watching the video, I think. So that's giving us some good information. And then our next meeting on August 16th, we're tentatively planning to have an interview with Jeff and I guess our new communications person would be welcome to come to that too, and on the secretary and communications roles. And so we're doing what we did last time with bylaws. We're doing with policies and procedures. We're signing 1 to 2 person people to do some initial work and then taking it to the full committee. So Michael and Susan are doing the initial work and have put together a list of initial questions to work with you on, Jeff, and then we'll have an overall committee interview. We're hoping on the 16th. I think we haven't heard a confirmation on that yet. So out of the meeting the interview we had last time, we got some information on a monitoring task force, and Guy Siebert had suggested that we do a monitoring task force. So we are completely aware that there is an awful lot going on in the NCAC right now, so we're not going to push it hard, but it might be a simple thing to look at in the future to for the board. It's not a bylaws committee thing, but the board to look at a task force or even a subcommittee to do monitoring, like Guy is doing currently, a whole list of different things that he's monitoring. He's told us he doesn't want to continue forever. He would be happy to transition that group and just have people doing, my other group calls it snackables, small things where one person might monitor 3 different organizations or one organization and bring anything of interest to the board.
Yeah.
And we were also looking at, one of the missions of the NCAC is to actually look at permitting or different things of interest for the NCAC to look at and possibly comment to the county on or to other organizations. So, but again, that's a whole new volunteer effort and maybe something we put on hold until some of the community plan work is done or whatever. So I'm just putting that forward to the board. And we also noted that the official bylaws approval is still pending. And so Sarah made a note and sent a note, I think, on the spot to the county council to get something in writing for us about that, because we would just want to make sure we do have some insurance coverage through the county on issues with the county. And we want to make sure that we have something official that we're operating, that the insurance is contingent on our following the rules. And so we want to make sure our rules are approved in writing.
That was
And
an
that's it.
interesting conversation, Nancy, that the insurance piece. I think we want to make sure that we look really carefully at that, because there are guardrails that you have to operate within, and if you're outside of that, you're kind of on your own, and we have to make sure.
Right.
those are-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I think when we get to that part of the policies and procedures, we want to be really, really clear about
Right.
what we're doing, when we're covered, when we're not covered. And
Right.
she gave, I'm going to be rewatching that part of the video probably frequently, just to get that nailed down, and then make sure that we check that with the county council too.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Not for me.
Okay.
And I just
All right.
want to thank my committee. The subcommittee is absolutely fabulous, and we're excited for a new year, and we're happy to be taking a little break now.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Well,
And we appreciate all your support, you guys, and Tom, coming to all of our meetings. You're like a de facto member. So, Tom too, Tom Verhoeven. So all of you guys are, we really appreciate all the support.
Yeah. Okay, discuss date of next executive board meeting. So we're at that point in the agenda. So that would be in August.
Well, and
Go ahead, Joe.
I currently am not aware of anything special that needs to be handled at that meeting, other than maybe handoff stuff, which is currently, we don't even know if there will be any handoff stuff.
Right.
So we could skip until September, just throwing that out there.
Okay. So if I look at the agenda for this meeting, we always have the community plan and the bylaws, but the bylaws sounds like they're going to take a much needed break. So that's great. So that might not be something. Let's say we do the next board meeting, we could set that today. Special election should be done. So yeah, would we consider setting a date and then not just seeing it as a placeholder? Could we do that?
I think we could. So how would we decide to cancel it? Like, do we need to be in a public meeting to decide to cancel it?
Right.
The bylaws actually say that for the first board meeting of the year, we should be setting board meetings for the coming year, but we could probably, particularly with this transition happening, we could probably wait to the next board meeting. But it would be good to actually set a regular board meeting date, and then maybe we could have some kind of a mechanism in the policies and procedures where we could cancel with an email. Maybe
for the executive board, Nancy, we're talking about
the executive board.
Okay.
So where we could say, Mark could send out a note saying meetings canceled unless anyone objects, or I don't know, Michael, what are your thoughts on that?
Look, scheduling is for the benefit of this group, and if you feel we need a meeting, make the meeting. If you feel there's a need, there's really not anything on an agenda that we have to deal with, cancel a meeting. That's perfectly okay. That's kind of the position I take on these.
Okay.
It's a little different with the general meeting. Substantially different, but for the purposes of a work group such as this one, you call it as you will.
Right.
Yeah, maybe we can agree on a meeting date, and then agree that Mark or the new chair, either one,
Mark.
can,
Sorry.
Don't do
that. Can decide to cancel it if we don't have any important agenda.
I think that's fine.
I agree.
Okay. Let's see. So it's the 24th today. And in August, that would be either the 20th or the 27th. Like we could pick the
The 20th would work for me because our school board meetings are now the first and third, or the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month.
Okay.
I think so. The 20th is maybe the third Tuesday.
20th is the third Tuesday in August.
So that would work for me, but.
And it is less than a month away, and it is bit at like a week and 2 days, or a week and 3 days after the general meeting. But
Okay.
we usually talk about different stuff in these meetings anyway. So
Yeah.
but 20th is fine for me. I'm really hoping I will not be secretary at that point and won't care. But
or we could make it another day of the week too. We could
yeah,
move
that's a Tuesday, and we just yeah, and there's nothing special about Tuesdays. Wednesdays, it's Wednesday today. It's just we kind of traditionally do Tuesday.
Yep. Okay.
But any other day of the week is perfectly valid.
So in terms of meeting where we have an actual general meeting or membership meeting, I guess we're calling them now. Why don't I have those on my calendar? Oh, I guess the next one's not till October.
Yeah,
Right.
second Tuesday.
So I'm wondering if we want to do the first Tuesdays of the month, just so that we're set for the general membership meeting months.
Oh, but the general, like for instance, like we're meeting today. This date was determined by, and it's not the first Tuesday in the month. It is the
right. So we don't do a September. I mean, we don't do an August meeting. We just do a first Tuesday in September, and then a first Tuesday in October, and a first Tuesday in November, and that way we're hitting the first Tuesday before the second Saturday.
Oh, so but sometimes that's going to be too like you'll want to make the agenda closer to the day of the meeting.
Yeah.
And like right now, I don't know that we have anything particular coming up that we like. Probably the meetings are mostly going to be about the community plan. But actually, that's a good point that we probably want to let them decide late what they want to do in the meetings if they actually can get their act together and know what they want to do.
Because that way, if we meet on the first Tuesday, then the agenda is set to be published that Saturday. That would be the week before the Saturday.
But we publish the agendas 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be, I think it has to be either in the middle or the latter part of a month. Right, Jeff? I mean, the middle of the month gives you enough time to publish the agenda for the upcoming.
Right. So I think, and by the way, that 2 weeks is
you're right.
Bylaws. What do the new bylaws say? Did you change anything?
14 days. You're right. You're
Okay.
right.
So
meeting notice. Well, it says meeting notices have to be posted. It doesn't say the agenda has to be posted. It just says notices. Like you're noticing the date.
I think because like general meetings have things like elections and sometimes they have stuff like big meetings about SDR stuff that it is not unusual that we have things going on in general meetings that people really care about, and we want to give enough notice that people can make time in their schedule.
Right.
So I think I feel good about 14 days, and I think anything less than 10 I think would not be like for all these other meetings, like most people don't like they're not well attended by people not on the committees and boards and whatnot. I think it's okay to
you're right.
Put out the agendas later, but for the general meeting, I think 14 days is the right day. So I think prior to a general meeting, we should do what we did this time and meet during the week before the Saturday when the notice has to go out.
Yeah, right. I think the third week, the third Tuesday of the month is.
Well, and that may not all because some months it may be that the fourth, like that may not be, it may not always be the third Tuesday. Sometimes the fourth Tuesday may be the right one. I don't know.
Okay.
Because
then that might be a conflict for Mark though. So I think if we keep it at the third, we might have, we might be a little early, but we wouldn't be late.
Well, I don't think we should do. I think we should say that like, and we can make it Wednesday instead of Tuesday, Mark, if
Yeah.
Tuesday
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
conflicts.
we could.
That the executive meeting before a general meeting happens like the week before the Saturday, 2 weeks before, like, because that means we can set the agenda, like we have as much time as possible to set, but like for people to propose items and put it on, because the earlier we set the agenda, the more likely something comes up that we have to change it. So I think right now is the right time to set the agenda, like a couple days before we have to send it out. And if the Saturday is on the 14th, or like that could be the last week of the month. So it's not always going to be the same. So I don't think we have to make a firm decision right now about that, but that's I think what we should do is that should be
It's changeable, but we're supposed to come up with a list of dates for you.
okay.
But it's
well,
changeable, so
I
we
didn't
could
put it on the
defer
agenda,
it
and you
to the
didn't-
next
you
meeting.
didn't. Okay, all right, we'll defer it. So next time we will add. We just lost Chris. Okay, probably because he had to go have dinner or something.
So the
but,
20th next month? Is that the date we want to set it on, or the
I-
21st or the
He said he
28th?
was available. It might be if we have a new secretary that it would be nice they might have some questions or something. It could be a 5-minute meeting, but
I think that's fine to set it for the 20th, particularly since we don't know what we're going to use the meeting for, and if
Right.
we don't have anything, we can just cancel it. So,
Yes, I agree.
And so do we want to, and we just lost Chris, we don't have Rand, and we don't have Alex, so we don't even know whether they can meet that date.
I think Chris said
20th.
it would be okay with him, didn't he? On the 20th?
I didn't hear
Okay.
that.
Oh,
So Chris just sent me a text. He said he had a hard stop at 8. Feel free to communicate with me via text regarding dates. I assume he means offline.
So let's just set it for the 20th.
Okay.
and
I'm
then-
gonna text
yeah.
that to Chris too.
Okay. And then we can, I mean, if that doesn't work, we'll have to look at another date, but we'll set the next one today for August, and then if there's not an agenda, we'll cancel it. So we'll just have to see. And we don't have a general meeting in September. Although I will say this, well, Sarah talked to me. I think I sent Jeff she sent to the CAC chairs a message about FEMA and the new FEMA regulations that are going to govern the new floodplains maps and how that's going to affect development in areas that are within those floodplain maps. And it's pretty, there's a lot there, and she's going to be asking to have a presentation during a general meeting. And she did say in September, because the timeline is quick on this. So I'll know more on August 6th at the next CAC chairs meeting with Sarah. So I think all that to say, I think we keep the 20th, and we'll see if there's a need to meet on the 20th. There may be some agenda items there that we do have to talk about.
Okay, sure.
So-
And we can also, I think let's see. I guess some people might want to come to that if we were going to have it at the general meeting. So if you're going to find out at the 6th, that's probably too late to add it to the 10th. So
I think it is. Yeah.
we can schedule a special meeting or something, and if we need to talk about that on the 20th, we can. So
Yeah, we might have to, because the timeline, it kicks in December, I think. So
wow.
it's really fast. And so anyways, the 20th would give us a chance to to discuss that if we need to.
Do you want to, does it seem like something you want to do right now, Mark? It's go ahead and schedule that for September and then we can announce it at the general meeting.
No, I think we wait until August 6th when the CAC chairs meet with Sarah.
Okay.
She's going to talk with us about it. She did say that she will want to make a presentation to the communities, and she did say in September, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's the whole month of September, the beginning of September, or what. So
Okay.
I think we'll just have to wait until we see from her. Okay, so the 20th, okay, let's see. Public comment is next on the agenda. Number 9.
Joni, you're up.
Here. Tom? No,
I have one question.
yeah,
The NCAC site says that our general meeting is on August the 10th at 1:30, but that the date is not definite. Or
And
some
the time is not definite,
time is not, excuse me, I'm sorry.
which
Time
is
is not definite. So is
up
it
next, and Alex is not here. So, but we'll get to that in a minute.
okay. So that was your question then, Tom?
Yeah,
Okay,
it is, yeah, the time. I said date, I meant time.
yeah, okay. Well, we'll move right to 10, and that is deciding on the time for the August regular
Hold
membership.
up. So Joni, are you here?
I am here.
Oh.
I just wanted, thanks for letting me listen in. You suggested I speak with Sarah to find out where it is appropriate to talk about the query I had and the request. And she said, she and I communicated today, and she said Chris Laity, unfortunately, he's not in town. And so
Okay.
I'll wait until he gets back. He and I had gone around 15 rounds back when he was investigating doing one-way streets here, which I was insanely opposed to. And we did discuss it in person as well. And I wrote him a long letter about it. And he wound up tabling the research, but I don't, I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about conversing with him again about another subject that's similar. So
Okay.
I thought I'd listen here thinking, wondering whether anybody, any of this was pertinent, but it wasn't, but I'll wait and talk with him about it.
Okay. Thanks, Joni.
Okay. All right. Let's see, now on to number 10, decide on time for August regular membership meeting. So that membership meeting is scheduled to be on August 10th.
Right. And usually we do them, or we've traditionally done them at 10 a.m. We did the last one at 1:30 p.m. for Alex.
Right.
And Alex probably will still be at the farmer's market, but he's not here. So he
Okay.
can't speak for himself.
Okay. So there is I think, I believe Alex will need to run unless there's a new chair, or unless I continue as chair. I think Alex will, if I continue as chair, I will not be able to be at that meeting because I'm camping in Central Oregon.
So let me see if Alex is, because he did text me back. He said he's on a plane.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see if he answers texts.
Okay.
Mark, you won't be able to be there in any event, right?
Well, yeah, I'm camping. Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
I would suggest keeping it in the afternoon, if for no other reason than a collision with the farmer's market.
right, right.
It's not just Alex. A lot of people go there, and particularly if it's at 10,
Yeah.
you might have a minimal attendance.
Yeah,
So we could just keep it at 1:30 p.m.
yeah,
like for those reasons, that it's a good move anyway for other people, and then And we know that Alex has a conflict at 10, so.
Yeah. I think we do that. I think we keep it at the 1:30 time slot.
Works for me.
Okay. Okay, the time, the agenda for the August regular membership meeting.
But by the way,
Oh, go ahead.
Nancy and Michael, do we still have a quorum? We have 3 of 6.
No, we don't, but we can talk about non-policy, non-action items, non-voting items, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. If you think that times and stuff don't need need a quorum to decide, then
No, that's okay. You can call that anytime anyway, so that's
okay.
yeah.
Also, this is a little known rule of parliamentary procedure, but if you don't call out that we don't have a quorum, then you can keep going.
Dang the video recording.
Well, there is that. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you shouldn't do anything that's
Yeah.
controversial, but
Yeah, she's right. But technically, we really can't pass any action items or, any votes and so on and so forth. We can sit around and talk all the time.
I'm gonna go. I have an 8:09
Okay,
hard
all right.
stop.
See you, Tom.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
And so there will be no public witnesses to whatever action.
All right, it's good to see
They're
you.
listening to
Tom.
the whole
all-
video.
They're all fine with me.
It's good.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
night.
it's good to see you,
Tom.
Tom. Thanks for coming.
No,
So I forgot to actually have the agenda document ready, which was very convenient last time. So we're just gonna have to kind of do it by voice. But I think we just have the election and
I
updates.
wrote some things down, Jeff. So
Okay,
I
sure.
got the election, the normal steering bylaw committee reports. And then I think, and this may just be an announcement about the FEMA stuff. I'll have to get you how to frame that, Jeff, or I did send you that email and maybe you can put
Right.
just the,
And
a piece.
yeah, and I think if we know what to say, we can
Right.
make an announcement, and we probably don't need to put it in the agenda that we're going to announce it. Like we can just announce it.
You could have like a chair's report, Mark, where you could announce that.
Oh,
That could be
okay.
an agenda item.
Oh, okay, that's fine with me. However you want to.
You won't be there though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Well, the chair's report could be Alex, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So that's August 10th, and it could be just a little blurb on what this is. And then it could be that we will need to hold a special membership meeting to receive the information from Sarah about it. That might be all.
Okay.
That
So,
might be all it is.
We'll just put something chair's
Yeah.
report or
Yeah.
whatever as a placeholder.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then the normal things, Jeff, welcome and
Yeah,
confidence.
so I think that's all that I think we have is just that the election, the 2 usual reports from the committees, that this item where the chair's report and then the boilerplate. I think that's all we got.
Yep. Yep.
And maybe introducing Derek, is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, Derek may not even be there, but we can announce that.
Yeah.
Because that may, the more we talk about it and the more we kind of like make it sound exciting and like you're part of something and like be all you can be, like the more likely that else may. I know there's someone out there that really wants to write newsletters, and
Yeah.
it would be Tom or Ann, but they're having issues. So
Yeah.
Let's see. But I guess we just need to keep like asking people to join the committees, the new task forces every time.
You know what? Why don't you talk to Wyatt's wife? She's an editor.
Since
Do you want me to talk to her?
yeah, because you I don't know, like I don't think I've ever had a conversation with Wyatt directly, and I definitely haven't had a conversation with his wife. So if you might be a better person to do the reach out.
Okay, so basically be a newsletter editor and write the emails and that kind of thing? Or write the emails and, well, why don't you and I talk offline?
I guess. So it's possible we could like invite her to do that, and then someone could volunteer to be secretary, and they may have a totally different idea. So I want to be careful about promising
That's
someone
a good point.
particular work. Like if they just like I want to like I like the NCAC and I want to contribute, that's great. But I don't want to say like you can be the editor of the email, because it's not my decision.
Yeah, no,
Or
that's
at
a
least,
good
or
point.
it's my decision for today, but it's not going to be
So
mine.
after you have your conversations that you're having here shortly, then we could, let me know if you ever want me to talk to her.
Okay, that
She's
sounds
very, very nice and very competent. So.
okay.
Is that it?
I think
Okay, so I have the election bylaws update, community plan update, item about the task forces, inviting people to join, including announcing that we now have Derek, and then a chair's report.
And then I'll do the executive. I see prepare a report of the executive board. I can do that as well. I printed
Okay,
the
I
agenda,
mean,
so I'll just do that.
I mean, I think the reason it's on the agenda is that we can just verbally kind of say what's on it, and that probably takes 30 seconds because it's just what we talked about today.
Yep.
And which is basically the same thing like that we talked about the election.
Yeah,
we talked a bit like that we had a check-in from Nancy, and we talked about dates. That's and we added Derek. I think that's it.
in the minutes.
And
right?
it's kind of the last two executive board meetings. If there's anything from the last one, I don't know if there is. But.
Okay.
This is what I would, if I were the chair, give as the report to the general membership that we talked about those things. So
yeah. Well, did you say minutes? Discuss of the utility of the meeting minutes?
you're right. Okay.
And I might mention that we've had a conversation about that.
Yeah,
which
okay,
is
that's a good point.
So like I said, Jeff, I've got the agenda and I'll keep it, and I'll make some notes, and that day I'll just go through that real quick. So.
Okay. And hopefully I will have published meeting minutes before you do that. Again,
Okay.
I'm a little slower these days because I'm got other stuff going on, but okay. So but that sounds good.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think we're at the adjourn point. So I'll
8:15.
8:15, call the meeting closed for the evening, and thanks everybody for coming, and have a great rest of the evening, and